Welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst team. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this afternoon.
Prime Minister intervenes into the issue in Valsapugala. Subject Minister holds a different stance. 46th UNHRC sessions to commence in Geneva today. New resolution on Sri Lanka to be submitted on Wednesday. Public awareness on the COVID-19 vaccine and the inoculation program continues.
Now those stories in detail. A group of farmers who have been staging a satyagraha in Valsapugala met with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa today.
The meeting was held at the Prime Minister's residence in Vijayarama.
අග්‍රාමාත්‍යවරයාට අදාළ ලිඛිතවම අපේ ප්‍රශ්නය පිළිබඳව කරුණු කාරණා ඉදිරිපත් කරුවා.
We have presented our issues in writing to the Prime Minister. We presented facts about the subject. Even though he immediately requested the officials who were present during the meeting to address the issue with the Minister of Wildlife, we did not get a legitimate solution. As a result, our fight to allow these animals to live in this area will continue. We will launch a fast unto death from the 23rd of this month.
ඊටම ගෙනියනවායි කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේදී ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. පෙබරවාරි 23 වෙනිදා නැවතත් අපේ ගොවි අරගලේ මාරාන්තික උපවාසයක් පවත්වනවා.
The Prime Minister met with a group of people of the Janasatha Peramuna, which is led by Venerable Batramulle Seelaratana Thera.
මේ සටන කියන්නේ කෑම බීම රැකී රස්සා ඉල්ලලා නෙමෙයි.
The struggle is not carried out demanding for food or employment opportunities. The struggle was launched to protect wildlife. We hope this would be resolved by Minister C.B. Ratnayaka and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. As a Prime Minister who works for the betterment of the people, we expect you to provide us with a favourable resolution.
තුමාගේ වචනයට කරු කළා මේ ඉෂ්ට කර දෙන ලෙස ජනතාවට සේවයක් කරන අමාත්‍යවරයෙක් වශයෙන් ඔබතුමා මේ දේ ඉෂ්ට කරයි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ දේ ඉෂ්ට කර දෙන ලෙස ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
The group also met with the Minister of Wildlife.
The protest led by Valsapugala farmers demanding the gazetting of the Hambantota Wild Elephant Reserve was carried out for the 36th day today.
A number of farmers' associations led by the Walava Left Bank Joint Farmers Association began this protest on the 18th of January. The protest has been going on for over a month.
There is no issue in Valsapugala. When people build houses in elephant corridors, where do the elephants go? This is a development zone. We are implementing a new plan to develop the area. I think tomorrow it will reach the cabinet. Once it gets approved, it will be submitted to the Attorney General's department. Once it reaches the department, it will be amended, and once the tenders come in, we can proceed. There is no problem here. If they feel it's necessary, they can go ahead. We can't satisfy just one or two people. These people have been provoked. We are not ready to work under threats. We are acting fairly. I don't think a single person there has experienced a wild elephant attack. There are people who have even right here. Who said we will gazette this on the 23rd? We can't gazette it without the approval of the Attorney General's department.
The villages around Galenbindunuava constantly face the threat of wild elephants.
Wild elephants encroached into the Vannamkulam, Udekulam and Kavarakulam villages yesterday. According to the area residents, wild elephants from the Mannankattiya and Ritikali reserves roam around the villages. The damage caused by the elephants to the coconut and banana crops in the area is critical. The solution to this issue would be an electric fence. But the authorities have not paid any attention to the issue. CCTV footage of a wild elephant attacking a motorbike that was parked outside a house in Egodapitiya Karuvalagaswava was recorded.
The All Island Farmers Federation is currently holding a protest demanding an immediate and permanent solution to the damage caused by monkeys and wild elephants to their crops. The protest began in Dambulla this morning, while the protesters continued on foot and are currently near the Dambulla clock tower. As we mentioned in the headline, the 46th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council will begin today. Chaturanga Haparachi joins us with an update.
Yes, Martin, today is going to be an interesting day for Sri Lanka as the UN Human Rights Council. The 46th session of the UNHRC is set to begin in Geneva shortly. Now, this particular session of the UNHRC is important for Sri Lanka for two particular reasons. One is that there is already a report that has been submitted by the Human Rights High Commissioner Michelle Bachelet regarding Sri Lanka. The government of Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka as a country have taken a strong stance against this particular report that has been submitted, and this was of course mentioned to the media and the general public by Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The second point is that the core group on Sri Lanka is going to submit a new resolution on Sri Lanka, and that is going to be on the 24th, this coming Wednesday. Now, with this, we have to go back a few years to understand why we are here at this time. Now, we remember that in 2015, a resolution was brought forward at the UNHRC. The 30/1 resolution was brought forward at the UNHRC, and there was a group of countries that came forward as the core group on Sri Lanka, and they included at the time the United States of America, United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, Montenegro, Northern Macedonia and Malawi. However, the US left the UNHRC under the leadership of President Donald Trump, the former president of the United States. Now, after 2015, the Good Governance government at the time decided that they are going to be a co-sponsor of the resolution that was brought against Sri Lanka, and that was the stance the government at the time took. However, when the government changed, the current government took a different approach towards this UNHRC resolution, and now we are yet to see how they will respond and how they will speak to the UNHRC member states at the sessions that are going to take place starting from today. 2 points that we have to keep in mind. The first is how Dinesh Gunawardena, the foreign minister of our country, is going to address the UNHRC. The minister is going to address the UNHRC consisting of a panel of ministers and state ministers. Now, that is going to happen on the 24th, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. local time. The minister is going to speak for about 20 minutes regarding the already published report on Sri Lanka by the UNHRC High Commissioner Michelle Bachelet. That is the first point. The second point will be how our neighboring countries and how countries in the region are going to support Sri Lanka with regard to this current resolution and the current report that has already been placed. And additionally, we also have another few points to remember. That is that the core group on Sri Lanka will submit its latest resolution 40/1 on Wednesday. That is also going to happen on the 24th at the UNHRC session. So these are a few points that we have to remember, and that is how we are starting this week with the UNHRC sessions. Martin, back to you.
Thank you, Chaturanga, for that comprehensive update. Meanwhile, Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan is due to arrive in the island for a two-day official visit tomorrow. During the visit, the Pakistani Prime Minister will hold bilateral discussions on matters including trade and investments, health and education, agriculture, technology, security and tourism. The Prime Minister is also expected to sign several MOUs. Meanwhile, Political Bureau member of the Janata Vimukti Perumana, Dr. Nalindu Jayatissa, expressed the following views in Polonnaruwa regarding attempts made by India to acquire Sri Lanka's resources.
India knows that they don't legally own the oil tanks. They are trying to use its government to acquire the legal ownership of the oil tanks. The Indian High Commissioner said they are going for a joint partnership with the majority of the ownership to India. Now India is attempting to discuss a new deal where they will own 99 oil tanks with the majority ownership. No matter what Gammampila says, that was the real discussion. India needs the land the harbour is in than the oil tanks. India is salivating over the land of the Trincomalee harbour. They can control the harbour from the area near the terminal. Indian Prime Minister Modi is not asking for much from our president. He only asks for 5 things: the Colombo harbour, the Kankasanture harbour, the Trincomalee port, the Mattal airport, the Thalaimana jetty. These are what they are systematically lending off to India. The transactions they couldn't complete under Maithripala Sirisena and Ranil Wickremesinghe will be expedited under Gotabaya Rajapaksa's present rule. The new High Commissioner from India is different. Usually the High Commissioner is rarely seen. These days we see him every day like he is playing the role of John Doyle. In addition to that, the Indian High Commission is not only in Colombo now, they are also in Kandy and Jaffna. Let's say establishing in Kandy is justified. They can also say there are Indian Tamils in Jaffna and the High Commission was established to serve them. But recently they appointed another special officer to take care of affairs related to the south of the country, which means there is another consul to overlook the south, including Gaul, Matara, Hambantota and Monaragala.
ගාල්න මාතර හම්බන්තොට මොනරාගල ඇතුළු දකුණ බලා ගන්නත් දැන් ඉන්නවා ඉන්දියානු තානාපති කාර්යාලයේ කොන්සල්වරයෙක්.
10 more COVID-19 deaths were reported yesterday. The Department of Government Information stated that 10 deceased are from Kolonnawa, Vallavatta, Kaluthara, Waskaduwa, Bibile, Gurutalawa, Pitakotte, Kudagalgamuwa, Ratmalana and Hatton, while the total number of deaths due to COVID-19 in Sri Lanka stands at 445. 580 new COVID-19 cases were identified yesterday. 23 cases were from the prison cluster, while the rest was from the Palayagoda cluster. Accordingly, total COVID-19 cases in Sri Lanka rose to 79,999. 843 COVID-19 recoveries were reported today, bringing the total number of recoveries in the country to 74,299. Meanwhile, police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana convened a media briefing earlier today.
Operations related to quarantine regulations are continuing in Colombo, Western Province and the entire country. During the past 24 hours, 8 people were arrested for not maintaining social distancing and not wearing masks. Also from the 30th of October 2020 to date, 3,210 people were arrested for not maintaining social distancing and not wearing face masks. Inoculation process of COVID-19 vaccines are currently underway. It is essential to adhere to quarantine regulations to control the spread of the virus. As a result, you will have to wear the mask every time. If you are in self-isolation, continue to stay indoors.
In one of your headline-making stories, the number of people who received the COVID-19 vaccine in Sri Lanka has exceeded 338,000 people. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said the vaccines were delivered to personnel of the Tri-Forces, police and people in Colombo, Gampaha and Kaluthara.
Today, employees of the Katunayaka Bandaranaike International Airport were given the Covishield AstraZeneca vaccine. Our correspondent said the officers of the Special Health Unit of the Air Force administered the vaccines. The vaccine is expected to be administered to all crew members of Sri Lankan Airlines as well. We administered around 2,000 to employees of the airport. We have also completed administering vaccines to nearly 500 employees of the Mattal airport as well. We expect to vaccinate employees of the Jaffna, Ratmalana and Batiklo airports as well. However, by the end of this week, we will complete the vaccination of employees of the airport and aviation services across all airports in the country.
The inaugural national-level mobile program organized to resolve land disputes was held at the Land Reform Commission in Anuradhapura yesterday under the auspices of State Minister of Land Management, State Enterprises, Land and Property Development S.M. Chandrasena. The program is organized by the Land Reform Commission.
People representing all divisional secretariats attached to the Anuradhapura district attended the National Mobile Program to seek solutions for disputes for lands under the Land Reform Commission. During the event, the people presented their issues while the State Minister and other officials provided solutions. The national program is expected to be held across all districts in the future.
The Janata Vimukti Peramana question: what is the point of planting trees while destroying forests?
A group of people calling themselves intellectuals created an organization called Viatmaga. The word Viat has two meanings. While Nandasena is on the path of intellectuals, the word has another meaning. The word Viat means 9 inches, which is a small distance in our scale, and in my heart I believe that this organization is one that would go on for only such a short distance. Now there is no more Viat Magar.
කියත් මගක් ඇත. කියත් වලින් වැඩ දැන් රටේ හැමතැන. දෝසර දානවා, කියත් දානවා, කප කපා යනවා. ජාතික සංවිධාන කියලා ජාතියක්.
Everywhere in the country, bulldozers and saws are being used. The so-called national organizations that protected our country from foreign nations are no longer to be found. You and I are the only ones remaining. The country is being destroyed.
නැත්te. ඉතුරු වෙලා ඉන්න ඔබත් අපත් පමණයි. රටත් අනාතයි. කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න.
පාරිසරික විනාශයේ සම්බන්ධව මේ ආණ්ඩුව වග කියන්න ඕන. මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ඉතාල
This government is engaging in bad politics to take responsibility for environmental destruction. To stop this ecological destruction, the members of the parliament are using robes and planting projects in a gruesome manner. You cannot bring back the forests that were destroyed by planting trees. If you don't know environmental science, we can teach you. By just planting trees, you cannot bring back acres of forests destroyed. As a result, we are telling the president to keep his henchmen close to him and call for a report from those same henchmen about the forest destruction.
දෙන්න මේ වනාන්තර විනාශය පිළිබඳ වාර්තාවක් අත් ඔබතුමාට ගෙනත් දෙන්න කියලා.
29th of November 2020. Large-scale forest clearing of Galvalayaya Reserve in Pullibadda belonging to the Mahaoya Divisional Secretariat Division in Ampara district. 30th December 2020. Indigenous community stands against forest destruction. 2nd of February 2021. Cabinet approves lease of 2,750 acres of land for maize cultivation. 8th of February 2021. Indigenous community seeks the intervention of the Court of Appeal to protect their land.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV Bond. For details of these stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First team, I'm Martin Satyanesan, along with producer Senita Sena Naika. You have yourself a wonderful day.